Ready.
All right. Hey, brother.
Hey, Al.
And welcome everyone back to another episode of Siblings in Crime. I'm Allie Rossell.
And I'm Blake Murphy.
And just as it sounds, we're your siblings who love true crime.
Yes, love it.
Love it. And we're back with another episode as we are every single week.
Every week.
And because Blake said I wouldn't bring it up, tell us about the Nazis in Atlantis.
No.
You jerk. You're a jerk. I was like, I'm going to be so prepared and make sure I ask, and you did nothing for it.
That's because I don't want to take too much time.
Oh, yeah.
We'll come out with an episode for it, and I'll talk about it.
On like a Thursday?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're holding you to that, so.
Or Sunday or Tuesday or something.
Any other day besides Wednesday?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm holding you to it.
Okay.
Sweet. Well, any updates for us before we get into the case? I just tried to trim my bangs a little bit. What do we think?
Looks cool.
A little uneven.
Maybe you should let the pros do it, though.
What?
Maybe you should let the pros do it, though.
I should, but I got scissors, and I was like, well, maybe I'll give it a shot. What is with this two that you've been holding up?
It's my 2-year anniversary.
Oh.
Thank you.
Yay!
At Allegiant.
Congratulations.
I don't know if I'm supposed to say where I work.
That's fine.
At the
They
airlines.
take one look at your profile, and they know where you work. So.
Really?
Yeah, are you kidding me? Your Instagram or your TikTok? People will be able to find that out so fast. Mm. But congratulations. We love a good pay raise. Big deal. Well, sweet. You also ran out in 100-something degree weather this morning, so you look already tired.
Yeah. Got my track work done. All right, 7 miles, 2-mile warm-up, 4 800s with 90-second rest between. 8 400s with 90-second rest in between, and then 1 mile cool down.
And your watch only grabbed 2 miles of it?
Yeah.
That's sad.
And then I did 640 pace and then 630 pace.
Very nice. You're getting so fast. So proud.
Thanks. It was rough.
And I have been having a really hard time.
It was great.
What is that from?
I think it was primary or something.
Or like Boy Scouts, I feel like. Yeah. That's so funny. I've been having a real rough time moving, so you're doing much better than I. Well, I'm going to get into it. This week's case is sad, for sure, and I just hate this person. So that's all I have going into it. That's all you get prepared.
Whoa.
I hate this man. Yep. Okay, well, especially because I don't do great with minors' stories. And that's what we're working with today. But this story starts somewhere in Fort Wayne, Indiana. There's a barn that doesn't exist anymore. The land got sold, the structure came down. Nobody thinks twice about the lot now. But for 2 years in the early 1990s, that barn held a message, scratched onto its wall in pencil and crayon like a kid had written it. Except a kid hadn't written it. A grown man had, and he had written about an 8-year-old girl he'd murdered, and he wanted Fort Wayne to know that he was still out there, still watching, still willing to do it again. It would take 30 years, forensics, and a genealogist staring at a family tree at 2 a.m. to finally find this name. And this is the story of April Tinsley. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's roll.
Pause.
Ready?
More subscribers, please.
Oh.
More.
Yeah, so if you haven't yet, please subscribe.
There's this thing I need you to figure out how to make where there's this little mouse and the subscribe thing comes up and it goes subscribe, notify.
It?
Yeah, it goes ching, subscribe, notify that they posted and something else.
It's like the bell and things. Okay.
Ching, ching, ching.
I will find that. Everyone keep your eyes peeled
and
do
really
as
quick.
it says.
Yeah. Also, I seen a lot of people it's hey, quick break from the thing, and they're in some field FaceTiming them or videoing themselves, and they're hey, quick break from the episode. If you could please go subscribe. Only about 10% of the people that actually are subscribed are listeners. Wait, whatever, you know what I mean.
All right, well maybe we'll have this as our commercial break.
Yeah, I'll go. Next time I'm out in the field, I'll do that.
Okay, perfect. All the time when you're out in the field.
Yeah.
The regular. Okay.
Or in the field. You know what I mean? Working in
the
field.
Yes, on the job. So now that we're being very selfish with our subscribers, let's get into the case.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm just
You
kidding.
shouldn't say it, and it made
I
me
know, I
mad.
totally forgot. Um, so April Marie Tinsley, like I said, she was 8 years old in the spring of 1988. So an older case. Keep that in mind. She sang in the children's choir at Faith United Methodist Church, and she was a second grader at Fairfield Elementary. She had the golden childhood. I mean, it's late 80s, that's like prime time where you're outside all day. No one knows where the kids are at, but they're all together.
Yeah. You know what we should do? We should get like this, like a chart, and it says like when like each like development in like forensics and like all kinds of like
Ooh.
things come out. So we were like, all right, so 1980 they had this, they had fingerprinting, they had this, and so now
Yeah.
like we're
It would
not like
take
guessing.
2 years to test this forensic or whatever.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't want to do that. If anyone out there wants to make a trade, we'll figure it out. I'm sure there's got to be something like
Hannah.
that online. Hannah, get to it.
Fontana.
Fontana. I'm sure there's got to be something online already. But that's a great idea.
Thanks.
And every time we talk about time frame, we'll have it up here for everyone to know where
so as
we're.
you can tell, they had fingerprints, and
Yeah.
they did not have whatever and whatever.
Yeah, that's
They
a
didn't
good
have
idea.
they didn't have cameras.
Okay, I'm on it. We'll figure that out.
Okay.
So great things to keep in mind. Good point. So basically, this neighborhood that April lived in, they were like all community. Like everyone's walking to each other's house, bikes outside everyone's house.
Yeah.
April 1st, 1988 was Good Friday. Also April Fool's Day, as we know. And it's like also like ironic because her name's April. So first day of April.
This is getting crazy.
I know. What are the chances? Well, April spent the afternoon with two friends, moving between houses the way kids do, like I mentioned. So around 3 o'clock, she realized that she had actually left her umbrella behind at someone else's house. Like whether that was her own house or somebody else's house is unclear. Regardless, she told her friend she'll be right back. She's got to go grab her little umbrella. She turns around, starts walking back, and she never returned. So it was a 2-block walk, which like isn't very far. I feel like nowadays, like no one would let their kid do that. 8-year-old is like kind of on that border of like, okay, should we give our kid a little bit of independence to walk by themselves, or like do we need to be watching every move? But this is a walk that April has probably taken like a bazillion times.
Wow.
Yeah, at least, the kind of walk that the parents aren't caring about probably, especially at this time frame. When she didn't come home from dinner, that's when everything started to shift. And that evening, her mother, Janet, called the police. It's always like sun starts setting and kids know to go home. And so obviously that was going to ring the worst alarm bells. What followed was one of the largest search efforts Fort Wayne has ever mounted for a missing child up at that point. And rightfully so. There was 250 police officers that were scavenging around, right? Tons. 50 volunteers combing ditches, fields, backyards. Anywhere an 8-year-old could have wandered off or been taken off to. People are originally worried, of course, that she's hurt or, but you think probably not because she's done this so many times. Like, where could she have gone? But flyers went up. Local news ran her photo on loop. And as the search got underway, a witness came forward. They told police that they had seen a white man in his 30s on April Street that afternoon, forcing a girl matching her description into a blue pickup truck. She didn't get a plate number, no clear face, just a truck, a man, and a direction. Always with that kind of stuff, it's like, dang, like that didn't ring a bells to do something about it then.
I feel like it's just a different time.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, her grandpa, or not grandpa, her, brother might be making her go somewhere.
Brother, dad, somebody.
I'm going to look up a turquoise alert because that's what we got last night.
Yeah, and that was so loud. Or Brett's like actually rang. Mine didn't ring.
Mine rang.
Scared the crap out of me. Yeah, if you're in the Arizona region, we got a turquoise report last night in Apache Junction, I believe. I think it was a missing child. You tell me.
So is an emergency notification system used to quickly locate missing and endangered individuals under the age of 65, including members of tribal communities.
Oh, it's specifically a tribal missing alert?
It sounds like it.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Under the
So
age of
Apache
65.
Junction girl was last seen with man who's known now in custody.
Oh, wow. So he's in custody, but she hasn't been found?
I don't know.
That is so sad. So, like we said, if you're in the Arizona area, take a look at that. But so sad. And yeah, like obviously nowadays we can just send out alert and everyone's looking. But obviously not in the 80s. And at the time, yeah, she could have thought like, oh, it's like a frustrated dad been like, get in the car, like we're late for something or whatever. Most people's minds, I feel like, wouldn't go to worst case scenario unless you're listening to true crime all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously that wasn't accessible back in the 80s. So I imagine people just like to choose to not believe that it's something more sinister.
Yeah.
But how frustrating as like the witness, you're like, that would haunt me if I thought I saw something and I didn't realize until after the fact. That's just so traumatizing. Be like, dang, like what if I could have stepped up? Like what if that was her and I could have done something? So obviously it's always better to just call, see if there is an issue. Better be safe than sorry. When didn't this is gonna be the dumbest question potentially? When did like 911 come out? After 9/11?
No, I mean.
Or was that a coincidence?
That's a coincidence.
Because like the emergency number, it used to not be like 3 digits. It was like you had to call like a 7-digit number.
I'm pretty sure that's why they did it on 9/11. Is because of the emergency number.
Oh, so that's interesting.
Yeah, because it's like
It was the other way around. Yeah,
it's
find
like
out
they
when
did it
that
because they
happened.
knew it was gonna like be a memorable date because of 9/11.
That's sad. I was like, which one came first? Yeah, find out when that became a thing because obviously if you're like witnessing something and you didn't have an easy access to a cell phone or 911, if you had to like look up a phone number to like get any form of contact to emergency services, I can see that also being just one more block to
Guess the
prevent.
date. Guess the year.
Guess the year. I thought it was like way later than we thought. Like I thought it was like 90s.
No.
Earlier than that?
Yeah.
Oh.
1968.
68?
Yeah.
All right, sorry, honey, witness. You have no excuse. You or this witness. I was like, well, maybe she didn't have the phone number. Obviously, you probably didn't. There's a chance you didn't have a cell phone, but at least 911 was still around. And
Yeah.
thank heavens for it.
Yep.
All right, well, let me keep going into our story because this was the only eyewitness account investigators would like ever get. So that's just like stinks because like you can only go off so much. So for 3 days, that obviously wasn't enough, and nobody found anything. Then on April 4th, a jogger, it's always a jogger, running through.
I gotta keep my eyes out.
Kate, it's funny you say that because I
And
run.
not get taken either. Both ways.
True. I think about that because.
Or hunters.
Or hunters. Yeah, anyone that's like off the beaten trail.
Yeah.
I think about that because I run canals a lot, or there's like a lot of like running paths in Utah. And I'm like kind of like looking in the brush. I'm like, I would freak the heck out if I like saw anything.
Yeah.
But I'm like kind of scanning just in case. I'm like, I don't want to find anything, but
Yeah.
I also don't want anyone to not be found. So
Yeah. One time I was running and I was like dying. I was like so tired. And I was like, oh, I could turn down the canal or go on this main road. And I was like, I'm going on the main road just in case if I pass out, someone will find me at least.
what? You're just so tired. You thought you were gonna pass out. Was it hot? Like why?
No, it was just a hard run. I don't know. It was just pushing it. But I was like, if I pass out right here, I guess someone will find me on the road.
Oh my gosh, that's so. I mean, smart. Better to be in public. Just sad that you had to have that thought, and then you actually ran on the road.
Mm-hmm.
That's sad, but good call.
Thanks.
Well,
I got honked at because their thing was too narrow, so I like had to go on the road for a second and then come off.
and everyone's mad at you.
Yeah, this guy was like turning and like got mad at me.
You just get hit by a car instead. You're like, this is safer. Horrible. Well, a jogger running through a rural stretch near Spencerville, about 20 miles or so from April's neighborhood, he found her body in a ditch. 20 miles is a good distance away.
Yeah.
It's not like she's wandering off by herself and got in trouble. The autopsy confirmed what investigators feared the moment they saw her. April had been sexually assaulted and strangled. The medical examiner placed her death 1 to 2 days before she was found and determined her body had been like only been placed in the ditch a few hours before the jogger had come across it.
Oh wow, how do they do that?
I think like how weathered, like we're in April,
and like maybe the dirt, like it's not dried up. It's like still
yeah, or
moist
like
from like
undisturbed
digging.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, so I imagine just like, and for sure, I know insects and animal like activity is a factor on how they determine how long people have been out. So it's a horrible thing to think about, but
yeah, people that do like coroners they are interesting.
yeah, what a creepy profession. Like I feel like if you're a coroner or doing like anything with this, you had to have stumbled across like this opportunity to work as a in this opportunity in this.
I feel like as like a funeral director, it's like, all right, you're a business person and you probably have to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But like if you're a coroner, it's like
Ooh.
creepy.
You're going out of your way to do that stuff.
Yeah, but maybe it's just they feel called to. Maybe it's like they feel close to the person and
True, like it's like a sacred thing.
Yeah.
True. I would like to think that.
Yeah, me too.
I was like, maybe. Well, actually, I totally forgot. Our uncle did that for a while.
Which one?
Alan.
No way.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what he was doing, but he definitely had to deal with like corpse and that kind of stuff. But he said it was pretty traumatizing. He didn't work there very long, and it was like a graveyard shift. He was like, I actually can't do that. Yeah, that's terrifying. It's
like, what's that noise?
I know. You're like questioning everything all the time. Oh my gosh, I would literally pee my pants. We need to ask him stories because I remember he told me a crazy story and I can't remember what it is now, but I'll find it.
Like the guy like got up and walked out.
Yeah, and he just left. He's like, I thought that guy was supposed to be dead. Probably something along those lines. But yeah, so medical examiners, it's unfortunate how they have to figure out these informations, like specifically how long they've been inside, how long have they been deceased, like that kind of stuff. Yeah, disgusting. So sad. So obviously it means that most of the time she had been missing, she had probably been alive somewhere with whoever had taken her and held somewhere else before getting dumped. So right off the bat, you're like, this guy's a freak. Hate him. So near her body, investigators found one of her shoes, and in a nearby shopping bag, also a sex toy, which is so sad, gross. A motorist reported seeing a blue pickup truck in the area around the time the body was left, and they're thinking that the description seemed to match what the other witness saw when, obviously, somebody was forced into a car. So they're kind of going off this blue truck detail, but it really didn't lead them to as much as you would think. On April 7th, 6 days after April vanished, police took the witness description of the man in the blue truck and turned it into a composite sketch. So it ran in the paper, it ran in the local news, and it did exactly what a sketch is supposed to do, and actually brought some leads. And I'm going to show you this sketch, and you can tell me what you think of it. But I feel like, well, don't only look at the picture on the far left for now, because the other two I'll explain later. But this guy. I feel like surely every man looked like that in the 80s.
Yeah, but you can kind of get an idea of like, all right, he's got a normal looking nose, like his hair is a little longer, rather than like some of the other drawings we've seen. They're like,
true, it's like a circle.
Yeah, that does not look like a person.
True. Seems like he has like kind of thinner lips, maybe a little stronger eyebrows, ovalish shape head. So that's like the sketch that was given, and so they're kind of running with that. And this is like the first time they actually get some tips coming in.
Yeah, my favorite is that news guy, and he's like looks just like him.
Yeah, I know. I think we talked about that before, and I don't think I put it in the podcast. Maybe
you'll have to.
Yeah, send it to me, and I'll
you
put
send it to me.
You're lazy. I do everything for the podcast. Oh my gosh. Well, over 140 tips came in off that single drawing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so everyone's like, it's my neighbor, it's Johnny down the street. I think that would freak me out if I saw a picture and I thought it looked like someone I knew. I'd be like, holy crap. But I'm glad that people are making these calls. So now they have names, addresses.
My neighbor's creepy is definitely him. He kind of looks like it anyways. Yeah. I got to get this guy.
You're like already kind of thinking someone's creepy. And you're
yeah.
Like, sure, it matches.
Matches okay.
Yeah, enough. Just call him in. Well, Fort Wayne, a city that had never had to think about a man like this living among them, suddenly couldn't stop seeing him everywhere, it seemed. So now they're getting like almost too many tips coming in. Most of the tips went nowhere. A few didn't, so let's talk about it.
All right.
Let's talk about a man named Everett Scholl.
Everett.
I kind of like that name, actually.
Uh-oh.
I would never say that about a monster.
Yeah. So he's innocent?
We'll see. Depends on... Anyways, his name was Everett Scholl. He was 34 years old, and within days of April's disappearance, his name had easily risen to the top of the list. Investigators learned that just days before April was taken, Scholl had allegedly been overheard telling someone he had seen 2 little girls playing and he wanted to grab one. That is weird. For so many reasons. First of all, how does this man have friends?
Hopefully he just wants to be a dad.
Yeah, like, I want one. I just want a child. I want to raise a good human.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, hold on, who are you hanging out with? These guys need to call the cops on you.
I always wonder that about people that do like really bad crimes together. I'm like, you guys, who's like, yeah, so I just want to do this really bad thing. And the guy's like, me too. And
Yeah, let's do this together.
yeah.
Yeah, I like, are you guys throwing out like hypotheticals and then seeing like who catches it? Because
Stakes is like, okay, Jimmy, kind of want to do it.
Yeah.
He didn't say no.
Oh, it's so freaky. So obviously that's like the most damning thing anyone can say to like easily make them the biggest suspect in the entire case.
Yeah.
And it came like right before April went disappearing. Detectives brought Scholl in and interrogated him for 8 hours. He gave blood, he gave hair. So did 4 other men that police were actually looking into around this same time frame. Mm-hmm. And as the questioning went on, investigators learned something else about Scholl. He was already facing an accusation for molesting his girlfriend's 11-year-old daughter. Mm. So he got a sick fuh.
Yeah.
So I take back, I don't like his name.
Yeah. Did you not know that before?
No, I mean, I wrote the script.
Yeah.
But I was like, when I said I don't usually like monsters' names or wouldn't come with them, I was like, yeah, that's a good point. Like, this guy sucks. So I don't know why I said I kind of like the name Everett. Mm-hmm. Meaning I would never name my child after a monster. Mm-hmm. Well, a man, obviously, with an alleged taste for children, unfortunately, a man who'd reportedly talked days earlier about maybe wanting to grab a little girl off the street. Like, this is the guy that they're interrogating, and it's like seeming very obvious that he's fitting this mold all too well. Mm-hmm. So Fort Wayne, these guys like dial-in boys, like they're like all in, like this police group and the interrogators and stuff.
Yeah.
The more they found out about Scholl, I feel like they got more. It got darker, as if you can believe it, because he ran with a group that locals said had an interest in like occult, witchcraft, magic, that kind of stuff. And they're like, okay, now this detail is going out. Are we looking at something that is maybe even more towards ritual? Is this like weird sacrifice? Because the neighbors are like talking about all this crazy stuff now. They're like, we think he's in a cult. We think that he is like doing this with a group potentially. So now they're worried, is this guy working alone? Or is this like way more at stake? Yeah.
I feel like that happens a lot when people are like can't explain something. They're like, it must be like some satanic group or like a cult, and it's like not everything is that.
Well, that's what I'm like. Obviously, during this time era, I feel like a lot more people were like Satanists, like freaking out about that kind of stuff going on.
Like the satanic panic.
Yeah. What years were the satanic panic again?
Probably around then. I'll look it up.
I think it was around then. And so like whether he was actually super into this stuff or maybe he just like played Dungeons and Dragons, like how everyone thought that those guys were Satanist.
Mm-hmm. The catalyst largely sparked by 1980. So in the 1980s, between 1981 and 1994.
That's like prime time. Yeah, so police looked into it, and they really couldn't find anything that supported specifically that, one, there was a group, 2 that it could have been anything to do with like ritual sacrifices, and then 3 that he was even into witchcraft all that much.
Yeah.
So that, like you said, this prime satanic panic, maybe I think people are probably also looking at like, okay, I know this guy is a creep, like let's spread rumors about him, maybe intentionally or unintentionally, but anything probably to get some creepos off the streets. Maybe people are a little bit eager to throw names
Yeah,
around.
they're like, I heard this guy
Yeah, exactly. Let's get this back
is
to
a
the cops.
Satanist, so let's get him out of here.
Right, exactly.
It's kind of weird. It's like it was like that panic, and then before was like witchcraft, like the Salem witch trials and stuff. It's like every once in a while, everyone just freaks out about stuff and just like starts accusing everyone of everything.
I know. I wonder like what sparks that, because like surely something had to ignite for everyone to start talking about it. I'm like, is somebody just like kind of messing with others and like what spread this, or like people generally just like all of a sudden getting freaked out? And the last episode we talked about the alien stuff, and so it's like people go through waves of like what they want to like dive deep into. So it's kind of interesting. But as you can imagine, Scholl denied any knowledge of April's murder. Typical, no matter who it is, you're starting off with denial. He was charged separately for the molestation of his girlfriend's daughter, though. And in August of 1988, I will say that the blood and the hair samples came back from the lab. So he was charged separately. He's getting held for that. When they got the test results back, they could not include him as the killer. They also technically could not fully exclude him as the murderer. 1988 DNA technology simply wasn't precise enough to say either way.
According to our chart.
According to our chart that we're going to find and have up, hopefully, they could not find anything definitive, but he wasn't ruled out. So now that's probably even more frustrating for investigators, because like he fits the mold so well, but we can't like rule him in or out. So now he's just here. The following month, Scholl was acquitted of actually the molestation charge, and he was never charged in April's murder. So he maintained for the rest of his life that he had nothing to do with it. So that's where we're at with Scholl. Which is so weird. Like, I want to know more about this like 11-year-old, because I'm like, you were acquitted for that and then you just like dropped off. I don't know. I feel like there's got to be more to that.
Yeah. He probably, if we look more into him, he's probably in jail somewhere.
Yeah, he's probably not doing great. So whether any of that was true or not, according to the law, he's innocent. But Janet Tinsley, which is April's mom, was never fully convinced, of course. And mothers have a little intuition, I'm sure. Years later, in an interview, she would say that even if Everett Scholl hadn't killed her daughter, she believed he knew who did. Which is kind of a funny thing to say, because like she was just so sure he was like involved somehow.
Just like his friends probably into the same stuff as him.
Surely.
Kind of
I always wonder that, because I'm like, if the cops are so close, I'm like, look at who he surrounds himself with, because a lot of people are probably hanging out with the same amount of freaks, the same freaky level.
Yep. Or close.
Yeah, true. Unless like truly no one has any idea of like your dark side, because I feel like that's kind of like Ted Bundy. Everyone's like, no, he's a stellar guy. He's so smart. He's great. Whatever. I'm like, you're telling me no one was like, this guy's got some weird demons?
Yeah.
That's so wild. So unless you're really that psychopathic where you can hide all your dark sides, maybe check out the friends.
Yes.
Well, he never told her, like never confessed, Everett. So the case kind of just moved on without him. So now they're left thinking like, okay, if not this guy, then who? And I'm not even sure if investigators are fully convinced that like he doesn't have anything to do with it. They just don't have any forensics to be able to prove that he is involved. And without like a confession or any other DNA, then they can't do anything about it. That'd have been so discouraging.
Yeah, true.
All right, so other people. So Scholl wasn't the only one named that police kind of chased after that summer. Like I mentioned earlier, there were 4 additional suspects that gave DNA samples alongside him, and police sent them all in, including April's sample, to like a private lab in Germantown, Maryland for profiling, and every single result came back as inconclusive. So at this point, as the investigators, I'd be like, okay, we can't really rely on DNA, because you're telling me 5 guys total are not a match, but also not a match, I'd be like,
Yeah.
it's the science at this point.
Yeah.
We gotta wait a couple years. So it was just dead end after dead end. 90 members of the community refused to accept this as a final answer, which is great. They literally formed a group and they called it April. Very fitting, very perfect. And just like dedicated to helping find missing children, which is so neat. Not even just April, but it was like in her behalf from the start. So it was, in a way, kind of like the only thing that people felt like they could control, trying to get involved. And if you like couldn't catch him, you could at least try to make sure that other children are safe. It's
Yep.
not someone else's daughter.
True.
What they didn't know was that their killer wasn't done talking yet. So I started in the entry talking about a barn, if you remember. Rarely do you remember the intro. Okay, well, if you don't remember, I'm going to remind you.
I remember.
Okay. So 2 years passed since April was found murdered. And this case was slowly going into the cold category. Then, on May 21st, 1990, someone found a message scrawled on the side of a barn in St. Joseph Township, not far from where April's body had been left. It read, I'm going to see if you can actually read it. It's kind of hard to read. This is like what I think is actually real evidence. But it might be somebody like rewrote it just as an illustration. But
First of all, this looks like a 10-year-old or
Yeah.
5-year-old wrote it.
exactly.
I kill 8-year-old April Marie. I will kill more. Will kill something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to read, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, first of all, you nailed that. That's like the most childish handwriting I've ever seen in my entire life. It said, I will kill 8-year-old April Marie Tinsley. And there's a lot of misspellings. Like, it's just horribly written. And I think it was like in literally crayon or like some sort of like color. And so like the letters are uneven, the spelling's off, the grammar's off. Evidently, depending on the source, it said on CNN and with the wiki site that it also went on to say, did you find the other shoe? Haha, I will kill again. And it doesn't show that in the image that I have pulled up. So I'm not sure if like the whole message was just not photographed or if these sites have it wrong. Either way, just part of a context to pay attention because we found one shoe. We know that the investigators did find one shoe near her body. So
it's wide known that there was one shoe found.
I believe so. So but I don't know whether or not he actually, or this person actually wrote about a shoe or not. But regardless, kind of freaky.
Yeah.
For a community that had spent 2 years quietly hoping the man had just like moved away, left the state, maybe died. Yeah, I bet everyone's hoping that, you know. The barn message was like confirmation of the opposite. And people are thinking this is legit. So whether that be like maybe the shoe detail hadn't come out that early or what, like I don't think anyone's thinking that this is some prank. That's kind of where my mind went because I'm like, it's like colored and
yeah, like a 15-year-old or like like a 12-year-old are like trying to joke around and scare people.
Yeah, and it's like on the side of a barn. You'd be like, oh, like that barn's haunted, you know. Yeah. So I was led to believe like maybe this is like someone pulling a horrible prank. But whatever the reason is, people are like dead set that this is like from the killer himself. That he hadn't gone anywhere, that he's been close enough this whole time, which is like such a disturbing thought. And the neighbors are like now panicking again. 2 years later, it's like reignited. Investigators briefly wondered if the note connected to another unsolved murder, actually of a 7-year-old, Sarah Jean Bowker. She was found in Fort Wayne the same June, like that same summer. And spoiler alert, it didn't. At least nothing would ever link these two together that we can like confirm. But now
was the other one solved?
I haven't even looked into Sarah's, but I'll tell you how this one ends, and so you'll have an idea of like if it led that way. I think that because of DNA, I think they rule it out that these are separate, but not necessarily. I don't know if Sarah's was solved yet. I'll find out. We'll find out when you do True Crime News. Well, after this weird message, they got nothing again. There was no more notes, no more leads, just like the sketch on a flyer growing more and more outdated, and a family that left Fort Wayne in 1991 unable to keep living in this place where their daughter disappeared.
Yep.
So I feel like that's hard because you probably like want to hold on to the memories and like love this place because like you have memories with your daughter, but I can imagine that just being far too painful most of the time. All right, well, get this.
Yep.
14 years go by.
Oh, wow. So what? In the 90s now?
Yeah, so I guess 14 years since she was murdered. So we're probably in like early 2000s now. So April would have been about 22-ish around this time. And it's so sad because like 22, you're maybe going to college or starting a career or getting married or like who knows, you know, like all these milestones that you're missing now. So sad. Then over Memorial Day, so now we're in the weekend of 2004. That's where we're at. 4 notes turned up around Fort Wayne. Okay, this is so weird. Literally so many years after this. 3 of them were left on bicycles belonging to young girls, and 1 was left in a mailbox. The 3 bike notes came in plastic bags, and inside those bags, alongside the notes, were used condoms,
Ew.
disturbing, and Polaroid photographs.
Wouldn't that guy get caught?
Without his head in it.
What? No, I'm talking about the used condoms.
Oh, like with DNA?
Yeah.
I mean, it's still early 2000s. Hopefully we have a chart. But yeah, not smart of this man to be leaving DNA willy, like out and about like that.
Yeah, I guess if he's not in the thing.
Yeah.
Never gotten in trouble before.
So gross.
Yeah.
The photographs showed a man from the neck down, completely nude, lying on a bed.
Weird.
Like freaky.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a gross. That's why I say I hate this man. Like that's like monster right there.
Yeah.
So he left some clues behind us, you can imagine. Obviously, like you mentioned. For sure that he left his DNA. Like, you're dumb if you're just willingly leaving that away. I feel like early 2000s, no one even knows about DNA still. Like, this isn't a thing that people, like, unless you're in, like, law enforcement, you're even thinking about. But also, the bedspread that was beneath him in the photo, it had a very distinctive, like, paisley pattern. First of all, freak. Your bedspread's paisley? That's weird to me.
What color is that?
It's pattern. Paisley's a pattern, not a color.
Wow.
Bless your sweet soul. It's like, look it up. It's like you'll know what it is when you see it. So that was like kind of unusual enough that investigators were hoping that if they literally put out a picture of that bedspread, that somebody would recognize it. And they even checked hotels in the area. They were like confident that no hotel was having paisley covers and that it had to have been taken in his home.
Oh, it's like Mexican.
Let me see. That's so funny. You think Mexican? Yeah, for sure dad's head wraps.
Yeah.
But I think of like, they look like germs to me. I don't know why. Like, that's what I imagine under a microscope.
Yeah, I think of Mexican like.
That's so funny, like bandanas and
yeah.
stuff. So obviously that's a pretty distinguished pattern. And I don't know a single person that has that as their bedspread. But they release a picture of it in hopes that someone's going to come forward. Like anyone would be like, oh, like my cousin has that bed or whatever. But nobody does.
Weird.
No one ever comes forward with that, like saying that that image is recognizable. Obviously, the next clue would be the note themselves, because investigators preserved the handwriting, and it was uneven. It was childlike, just like the barn. Like the same type of font where like it doesn't make sense, like just like really young handwriting. So they have now 2 samples across like these 14 years of handwriting. So, but they have like no one to compare them to, which sucks. On the notes, at least one of them said, "Hi, honey. I've been watching you. I am the person that kidnapped and raped and killed April Tinsley. You are my next victim. If you don't report this to police and if I don't see this in the paper tomorrow or on the local news, I will blow up your house." So it's like you want her to go to police. You want this to be on the news. You want attention. If you don't, I'm going to blow up your house.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
The whole message is weird. You're confessing, like, do you just need to get this off your chest? You're confessing once again that you did this to April. You're saying, like, you're hand choosing these other victims, and you want all this attention for it.
Yeah, and blow up a house.
It's such a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
And it feels very childlike.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're like, how old is this person? At least that's what I'm thinking. They're also getting freaked out, like the investigators, because now they're threatening another child. So, like, is this person coming back out of the woodworks and wanting to do this again? So, of course, the condoms were tested. It matched the unknown DNA profile recovered from April's underwear now 16 years earlier.
So it is him.
So it was confirmation it was the same man.
Wow.
But no confirmation on who it was.
Yeah.
Because we don't have that type of testing yet.
Yeah, so he's good enough not to get in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he's like, okay, well, it's not like his DNA is in like a huge database so we can identify who he is. But now they know they're for sure dealing with the same guy. And like, what a weird person to be like just continually bringing this up, like wanting it in the spotlight. Usually people are like, I'm going to stay low and just like slip away.
Mm-hmm. He's getting cocky or something.
So let's build a profile. What are you thinking? Because at this point, they have like quite a bit of information, but no name.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like the, what are their names? I can't remember their names, but they're like not smart at all. Like some like pig farmers.
I'm thinking Criminal Minds so hard right now.
I don't know, just white.
So you think he's white, uneducated?
Super uneducated, like dropped out of school when he was like 15, maybe 12. And yeah, just like living off the land, like, I don't know.
This is kind of like when the FBI's behavioral analysis unit was like really starting to shine. And this is what cracks me up because the BAU picks up on every little detail left behind, and they actually make a huge profile.
Oh, wow.
This is what I'm like picturing, like, when I say Criminal Minds, this is like literally exactly what they do. It's like all of them walking around, bouncing off each other, giving different things. So imagine all those guys walking around, giving their spiel.
All right, quick break from the case. Because if you've ever looked up at a plane and thought, I wonder what it's like to actually fly one, this is for you. Today's episode is brought to you by Simply Fly Flight School, a local flight school right here in Arizona that makes learning to fly simple, fast, and actually affordable. Simply Fly offers discovery flights where you can get in a real plane with a certified flight instructor, take the controls, and experience what it's like to be an actual pilot. No experience needed, just show up and enjoy. And for our listeners, you can get $10 off your discovery flight when you book through simplyflyco.com. Whether you're checking off a bucket list item, thinking about becoming a pilot, or just want the coolest experience you'll have all year, this is it. Head to simplyflyco.com, book your discovery flight, and use podcast discount to save $10. Now back to true crime. Yeah.
So this is what they say. They say white male, circumcised. First of all, how do we know that? Okay. Late 40s to 50s as of 2009. Low to medium low income. Lives and or works in the Northeast Fort Wayne or Allen County area. Specific sexual interest is the age of girls 5 to 10. This is gross. Attracted to hairless, undeveloped girls. BAU's language, gross. Probably not married. If they had a long-term partner, that person would have sensed something was wrong but was likely in denial. Socially awkward or inappropriate around adults. Prefers the company of children over adults. Deliberately constructed constructed access to little girls, whether that be through dating people that had younger girls or befriending families that had girls, like volunteer work, working in certain environments. Drawn to playgrounds or swimming pools, parks, anywhere kids are at. People around them likely interpreted his attention toward children as someone who just loves kids, like never read it as dangerous. May have made casual or inappropriate sexual comments about little girls in unguarded moments. Collected images of little girls, whether that be clothed, candid, or pornographic. May have collected other items tied to his fantasies, such as children's clothing, toys, like advertisements, like Hello Kitty type of stuff, like weird collections. Some or all these items he may have photographed himself. In 2004, possibly owned or borrowed a forest green pickup truck with a matching camper shell and dark tinted windows. Don't know where they got that. Owned or borrowed a Polaroid camera in 2004. hair on lower legs. Okay. Very specific details. On why they say he resurfaced after 14 years rather than killing again. The BOU called it substitute behavior, not escalation. So maybe they're thinking that these type of offenders can satisfy that same compulsion through lesser acts, such as peeping, indecent exposure, leaving like these material for kids to find. So maybe like that's why he's doing this, to like satisfy those weird things.
Yeah.
So they think that the notes were like maintenance for him, not like a countdown potentially to harm another child. These incidents often go unreported because people don't recognize the significance at the time, thinking it's like a more minor offense, but still obviously very dangerous. On why activity stopped after 2004, the BAU offered 4 possibilities. The obvious ones: institutionalized, would that be a hospital or prison? Ongoing access potentially to a victim through a relationship or like a child's caretaker. So if he had easy access to a child for a long period of time. He could have relocated or deceased after June of 2004. So they ended this profile with a direct message to the public of Fort Wayne and Allen County saying, quote, "You may be standing next to him in line at the grocery store, sitting beside him in the pew at church, or working beside him on the production line." End quote. Isn't that so Criminal Minds? They're all walking around like, "You may be walking," and like the flashes of like different scenes. So they're pretty spot on, because this is what he was doing for the last 30 years. He was just among them. Ew. For this type of offender, the notes weren't a confession
Perpetrator?
No, preferential. Like a guy who prefers youth.
Yeah.
For this type of offender, the notes weren't a confession trying to surface. They were closer to a continuation, proof to himself that he is still out there. He's still capable. He's still living among them, and he's like not caught. So it's like kind of a pride stroke type of thing, it seems. Gross. Investigators later learned just how true all this was, because in the years after April's murder, the man behind it all kept circling, driving through the neighborhoods, lingering in parking lots, and they had no idea because they couldn't figure out which guy it was. So for the next decade plus, the case moved on and off. It was hot and cold. It just same routine as always. And in June of 2009, Indiana authorities asked the FBI's Child Abduction Rapid Development Task Force, also known as CARD, to take a fresh look, calling the case highly solvable after 21 years. They're like, we have all this information, all this DNA. We just can't put it together. So this same year is when America's Most Wanted actually ran this segment.
Oh.
And America's Most Wanted is so legit, because I swear, like, once they put out an episode, in this situation, 400 to 500 tips poured in. Like, that is so legit.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, so I'm like, we got to keep that show up and running.
Yeah.
So all these tips seem like they could be ruled out, though, which is so sad almost immediately, because a lot of them were like the person had died before the notes came out, or that kind of thing. Others took years to actually fully run down, but as of late 2009, detectives were chasing about 50 to 75 leads at this time. So they still had quite a few to go through, none at this point producing a name. In 2015 and again 2016, you'll recognize this name, a company called Parabon Nanolabs. Hopefully that's on our chart, because they've come up quite a few times. They released composite snapshot images. And so this is where they take the DNA and they can make a look-alike based on genetic markers of what they think, facial structure and all that stuff of how they could look. And so in this illustration, not that one, don't look. In this illustration, we have the two that they came up with. One, what we think that he may have looked like back at the time at the scene, and then aged a little bit. So how close that is, do you think it's pretty close to the sketch?
A little bit.
Obviously, we got a haircut going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, more broad eyebrows still. I think it's like pretty similar, but it's hard to tell because like my face recognition is so bad anyways. I don't know.
Yeah. What if they could take your DNA and recreate you?
Like a clone?
Yeah, like an image of you.
I would be so curious.
That'd be crazy.
That'd be kind of, if like this kind of stuff was super cheap, that'd be kind of a fun activity to like just see if they, like, how close they are to what you look like.
Yeah. But like that'd be crazy. Like then they'd be like, this is exactly what he looks like, and only the hair is different. Like if you grow it out or keep it short.
Yeah, true. Different colors, like you can obviously dye your hair and different
Yeah.
stuff like that. But yeah, if like your face structure, your eyebrows, everything is like
Yeah.
perfectly like your nose, mouth, that would be insane. And I wouldn't be surprised if we actually get to that point eventually somehow. But so they put out these new images trying to find anything that anyone like coming forward to say like, oh yeah, actually I know that guy. But the tip lines actually stay quiet this time. The sketch brought
really?
more calls in than these images. Such a bummer.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes, some of the detectives who carried this case with them for years, like some people were on it from the start. And so they're like carrying a picture around of April, you know, like this is the one that haunted these investigators who've been around forever. So sad. In 2005, the Tinsley family stood at another press conference in Allen County Courthouse and asked the public again for just anything, a memory, a name, anything at all. And April says that she had another toddler at the time. And she's like, if I didn't have this kid to like worry about, I don't think I could have stayed sane. Like, rightfully so. And this family, they're so sweet. They're so young. I'll show you a picture. That is what the family looks like. So here's April when she's younger, and then the toddler that grew up. And so the mom is like, I literally would have not been able to survive, which I rightfully so. Like, I totally understand where she's coming from. In April of 2018, do you recognize the significance of this date? No. Who was caught?
I don't know.
The Golden State Killer.
Oh, he was?
Dun, dun, dun. Yes. He was arrested in California, as we know, caught because of genetic genealogy, which is so sick. Like,
yeah. It is.
I just imagine like old people wanting to do their genealogy and just like coming across this stuff. I'm like, you guys freaking wrong. Police had taken DNA from an old crime scene, uploaded it into the public genealogy database, and used family trees to match and came back with the name. And obviously that's how they found the Golden State Killer. And so Fort Wayne detectives are like, this is our chance. Like, this is it. So like 2-ish weeks later, some time frame, in May of 2018, a Fort Wayne police detective sent April's case DNA to that same company that had helped crack the Golden State Killer case. Parabon Nanolabs, actually. Yeah. And Parabon uploaded the genetic profile to GED Match, a public genealogy site where like ordinary people are just sending in their DNA because they want to know about their family history. Which is, what's your stance on if that's like okay or not to take people's DNA and make a map for crime?
I don't know. I guess if they agree to it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't know what they're agreeing to, probably. I feel like for me, I'm like, if it's going to help solve a crime, I feel like I'm not weird about, like, my DNA. I'm like, the government can get access to whatever they want whenever they want. If it's going to go help solve a crime, like, sure, use my DNA. Yeah. I know a lot of people have issues with that because of privacy reasons, and that's valid too. But anyways, I was just curious. So genetic genealogist Cece Moore took on this case. She built out family trees from the partial matches the database returned. So she got second cousins, third cousins, people who are just like spitting in this freaking tube because of a Christmas present, you know, which is crazy. By July 2nd, 2018, so this is literally like 2 months after she got the DNA sample, she had narrowed an entire family line down to 2 men, 2 brothers.
2 brothers.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
They've been working this case for 30 years. And she gets this, and 2 months later, she's like, okay, I have this family tree. Like, that's got to be so exhilarating, I swear.
Yeah.
She's like,
all right, now who's more of an idiot?
Yeah, who's them?
Who
lives in
can't
that
write
area?
anything?
For sure.
Can't spell.
Yeah, so one of the brothers lived in a trailer in, I don't even know how to say this, Graybill, Grabill, I don't know, Indiana, a small town not far from Fort Wayne. His neighbors would later describe him as secluded, often kind of an angry man, a man who kept himself. He worked the midnight shift and went straight from work to home every day, back and forth, for the last 30 years. He has not left. The brother, I don't know anything about.
All right.
So detectives put this guy under quiet surveillance. I think the brother was in the area. So they're like, this guy's obviously like in the heart of where we're looking. So they put on surveillance, and they actually went through his trash. Guess what they found?
Used condoms.
Used condoms. Great job. Yeah, that's so foul. The DNA was tested. I'd be so sad if I was the detective. I'm like, okay, look what I found. It's like gold for DNA, but you're just. Anyways, the DNA was tested against the decades-old profile from April's case. The same profile recovered from her underwear in 1988, and the same profile lifted off the condoms left on bikes in 2004. It was a match. Dun, dun, dun.
Got him.
They got him. They know his name. His name was John D. Miller. He was 59 years old at this time. On July 15th, 2018, two detectives, Brian Martin and his partner Hedrick, they pulled up to Miller's home, and he had just gotten back from the grocery store. Literally groceries still in the car. They asked if he would help them with something that they're investigating. And they just wanted him to come to the station and have a little chit-chat. He agreed. He even left his groceries in the car. Not much of a concern at all. He's just like, leave that. I'll walk with you right now. Odd. On the 20-minute drive into Fort Wayne, Miller chatted with the detectives. He told them he liked crossword puzzles. He told them he never missed an episode of Live PD. And by the detective's own account, he seemed like so relaxed. Like, he seems like he was enjoying this cop ride. He's like, this is kind of cool. Like, seemed like he's just kind of soaking up the moment. Almost feels childlike to me. Once they were in the interview room, after he had been read his rights, investigators asked him a simple, straight, open question. Did they know why they wanted to talk to him? And he said, April Tinsley. He knew.
Yeah.
He knew. He knew after all this time. He hadn't been told the case. He just volunteered that up. It's not like they gave him any inkling of what it could be. So he went on to confess, actually. He told them on April 1st, 1988, he had driven into a neighborhood that wasn't his own, looking for a child to abduct.
Dang. Crazy.
That's what I'm saying. I hate this man. Literally, he hadn't targeted April specifically, but he had the intent to find someone, a little girl walking alone. And she's just the one that he decided on.
Creepy.
Literally, monster. Like,
Yeah.
I hate this man. He told them he had asked her to get into his car, and she had. And he took her back to his trailer. I'm sure she was just terrified. He admitted to raping her there. He told detectives it took about 10 minutes to strangle her to death. And then he killed her, in his own words, because he was afraid that she would tell someone what he had done. And I hate this man. I would say that every chance I get. He had driven her body to that ditch in Spencerville that night and had left her there. So, and the next day, when he passed by the site and saw no police activity yet, that's when he threw one of her shoes from the car window as he drove by. And so that's the shoe that would have been found about 1,000 feet from her body. And so the barn may or not have specifically added that. But regardless, I don't know if he was trying to get her body found or if he was just recklessly tossing it out. Either way, it matched what they were looking for. And he was charged with murder, child molestation, and criminal confinement.
Jeez.
I hate him. So for 30 years, John Miller had been, by every count, almost like aggressively unremarkable. Literally the most, loser guy. He had lived alone in the same mobile home this entire time. He had worked overnight shifts. He had reportedly been fired from a previous factory job once for damaging a time clock. Which they're like, he could be on the production line. I'm like, he was there.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Investigators later know that he had a habit of walking from his trailer to a nearby softball field to watch the kids. Like, he very much aligned with the BAU's profile.
Weird. That's creepy.
Yeah. Miller's brother, so the guy who obviously wasn't, who spoke to a local news station, he asked obviously not to be named, described John as a little slow, like he never had a girlfriend. He said that he thinks that he was maybe abused from like this reform school he went to, and he's thinking that maybe something had triggered him. So I don't know like how factual that is if he did get abused. Like that is pretty common in people who end up abusing others. So I wouldn't be surprised. And it doesn't seem like the brother is trying to like back him up in any way, but he's like just trying to make sense of it as any family member would.
Yeah.
So what's certain is whatever happened to John Miller as a child, it obviously does not explain or excuse his behavior but there might have been some issues there.
Yeah.
The detectives who finally caught him were almost like struck by how ordinary he seemed to be, in that detectives said it boggled their minds. Mm-hmm. They're like, this guy is nothing. It's horrible. They're like, we're looking for, like, they thought they were looking for some, like, maybe a secret mastermind, you know, or whatever. Yeah. They're like
how was it hard to catch this guy?
Yeah, this guy's so regular. Like, he's like your most average neighbor in the whole entire world.
Yeah.
Just like
he just blends in
too well. Yeah. So Miller pleaded not guilty at his first hearing. I'm always shocked by that. I'm like, why do you want to go to trial if you literally confessed?
Yeah.
He was held without bond and scheduled to stand trial that February. And Janet Tinsley and her husband had told the prosecutor's office plainly that they didn't want him to get a deal. They're like, we want death. Take the death penalty. And they didn't get that because on December 7th, 2018, during what was supposed to be a routine change of venue hearing, Miller actually changed his plea to guilty to murder and child molestation. And Janet had like just barely a week beforehand had learned about this and was just absolutely devastated because she felt like the jury would have chosen death. So she sat in the front row as Miller read a statement to the judge admitting to having sex with her daughter.
Ew.
Yeah. And I was like, monster. How did the parents not just jump up and like try and kill this man? Mm-hmm. Like, I'd be like sick because that is not how that happened. And Janet says afterwards, you're just thinking to yourself, like, what did I just hear? Because she's expecting to hear like, okay, yes, I confess to this. And this man is saying how, what, why, like all these details. And it's just so sickening. Mm-hmm. On December 21st, 2018, Judge Surbeck accepted the plea agreement and sentenced Miller to 80 years, 50 for the murder, 30 for the child molestation, and to be served consecutively. So John Miller spent the remainder of his life in custody, moved to the Newcastle Correctional Facility in January 2019. He never came up for parole, and he never would have because his earliest possible parole date was 2058.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he wasn't making
it.
Dead? Yes, he passed away. He didn't even spend much time there. He, in September 4th of 2025, just last year actually, having served just over 7 years, he passed away of natural causes.
Oh, what?
Natural causes.
Oh, I thought you said financial causes.
Financial really got the best of him. Natural causes.
Yeah.
If I was April, I would have found out who. No, this is so messed up. Okay, this is probably a hot take. Find out who else is in his division of the jail. Let him know that he is a child predator.
They probably are.
And have them have their way with him.
Most of the child predators, I think, go to a specific spot where other child predators are so they don't get killed.
Which I feel like we should just let them roam around with the other jail inmates.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's just like a headache for the
surely.
Like, get to keep.
Like all these guys are getting murdered.
Yeah.
Probably true.
Or like beat up and break it up and everything, but.
Right.
Yep.
Well,
I agree.
Yeah. April Tinsley would be in her 40s now.
Oh, wow.
Which is so crazy. Like, she could have been having kids of her own, you know? Like, who knows what she could have accomplished.
Yeah.
Instead, her name became attached to one of the most infamous unsolved cases in Indiana history until it was solved with genealogy. Not because of just how she died, because of how long it freaking took this killer to get off the streets. Like, this ordinary man, you know, who left hints along the way over the years, and it took far too long.
Yeah.
So, like we know, what finally put this case to rest wasn't a confession or anything of the type. It was just a genealogist willing to follow a family tree for however long she needed until she found answers. Which is crazy.
That is crazy.
It took 30 years. For April's family, that's 30 years, obviously way too long. But it's 30 years longer than John Miller ever should have had.
Yeah.
And that is the case of April Tinsley.
Dang. Genealogy. That's
Genealogy.
Got him.
Yeah, crazy. Genealogy is so cool in that way. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I know some people don't want to make their DNA public, which I totally understand. But when it comes to this, like, what a blessing. Absolutely.
Yep. True.
All right, so hit me up with that true crime news.
All right, welcome back to another episode of True Crime News, Part 7.
Part 7?
I don't know, I just said that.
You need to start reading ahead a little bit.
I'm just joking around. All right, this week we've got murder plots, cold cases, DNA breakthroughs, a double homicide tied to domestic violence, and a decade-old missing child case back in the headlines. All right, so to start off, family murder plot found in notebook. A routine traffic stop in Virginia turned into something much darker. On June 16th, 2026, police in Stafford County responded after a vehicle struck a road sign. When officers located the suspect, they allegedly found a notebook detailing plans to murder members of a juvenile suspect's family. Authorities arrested Lewis Conley, 19, along with a juvenile accomplice. Investigators say the notebook contained multiple murder scenarios targeting the family. Both suspects now face conspiracy to commit murder charges while investigators continue examining a possible motive.
Wow.
That's weird.
Yeah.
So why were they looking at the notebook? But good thing they did.
Yeah. Maybe just done for anything.
Yeah. All right, next case. Arizona kidnapping investigation nears major breakthrough. One of Arizona's biggest mysteries may be getting closer to an arrest.
Ooh.
Former FBI officials say investigators appear to be closing in on the suspect known as the Porch Guy in the kidnapping of Nancy Guthrie, the 84-year-old mother of TV host Savannah Guthrie. Guthrie was abducted from her Tucson home earlier this year. Authorities later received ransom communications containing details investigators considered credible. This week, sources close to the investigation indicate an arrest may be approaching, although police have not officially announced any charges. Remember that one?
Hardly.
Yeah.
So sad.
Yeah. Body found at ancient stone circle. A murder investigation is underway in England after a body was discovered near an ancient monument. On June 22nd, authorities found the body of a 26-year-old man near the Nine Ladies Stone Circle in the Peak District. Police arrested a 41-year-old man on suspicion of murder and are reviewing witness accounts, video footage, evidence from gatherings that took place during the summer solstice weekend. Investigators have not yet released the victim's identity. Weird. All right. 7-year-old DNA mystery finally solved. In Texas, modern forensic science has finally cracked a case that sat unsolved for years. This week, police arrest Miguel Angel Rivas, 32, in connection with a 2018 sexual assault involving a disabled senior citizen. Investigators collected DNA evidence at the time of the attack, but no match existed in the national database. In 2026, a new CODIS match linked Rivas to the crime. Police then obtained a confirming DNA sample and made the arrest. The victim waited more than 7 years for answers. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, and the last one, woman killed while trying to relieve relationship. A tragic domestic violence case in California ended with 2 people dead. Police say Veronica Lopez, 24, was attempting to end a relationship with Robert Galtman, 48, on June 18th when gunfire erupted at her apartment complex. A neighbor, Robert Brady, reportedly tried to intervene and was also shot and killed. Authorities say Galtman fled the scene before being captured following a police pursuit. Family members told investigators they had previously warned Lopez about the relationship and feared for her safety. From murder plots hidden in notebooks to DNA technology solving crimes, years later, these cases show how quickly investigators can take unexpected turns.
Wow.
Investigations.
You're right about that.
I'm so tired, I think. For more true crime news making headlines this week, follow Siblings in Crime.
Yes.
Thank you for stopping by.
Real quick. The the linking of the case that they thought for Sarah Jean Bowker. That case, the alleged killer died just after this attempt. They think that this person was identified as Roy Hensley. He was the prime suspect and was like a grandpa figure in her life.
Oh.
Yeah, not a grandpa, but a grandpa figure.
Mm-hmm.
And knew her for about 3 years. And that's who allegedly was her murderer. Her murderer.
Yeah.
He died soon after. A lot of people are not satisfied. A lot of people still think it could be connected to April's case.
Wow.
But her killer was never specifically identified, which is
That's crazy.
sickening. Yeah. Anyways, that is all we have for this week. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next week with another episode of Siblings in Crime.
Adios.
Adios.
Bum 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 bum.
I think we're
Ba-da-bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-da-bum, ba-dum, ba-dum.
I thought you were doing.
Ba-da-bum, bum,
I wanna
ba-dum,
tell you.
ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum.